Hello Booktube, my name is Adrian and today we're doing a tag video. So right off the bat here today, I wanted to tell you first of all what this tag that we're going to be doing is, and that is the Briggs book tag, which is a book tag created by Jaded Reader. This tag was actually designed after the Myers-Briggs personality test, and so each personality type has 5 questions based on your letters. But I will explain more about that and my own personality test based on this thing once I do tell you about a little update. On Friday, there was supposed to be a video that is basically my August wrap-up that was supposed to go up. But when I sat down to edit it about a week and a half ago, a good chunk of the files were corrupted. And it was basically a vlog-style wrap-up. So I have been going through the last week and a half refilming little clips as I go. So my goal is that you won't be able to tell what clips are refilmed and what clips aren't when you see the final video, but because I'm doing that, it's taking me a very long time to get the video edited. So hopefully I will be able to have everything finished with that video and it will be up on Friday. If it isn't, you will see another video on Friday, and I will continue to work on this video, but this video is going up because I worked too hard on this video to scrap it. So I'm going to finish this video. It just may take a while, but you will still continue to get content in the meantime. So I apologize for there not being a video on Friday, but it is what it is. Now, anyway, let's get into the tag. So I said before that this tag was based on the Myers-Briggs personality test. Basically, there are a bunch of different personalities and you are a combination of different things, basically. And I will go ahead and put a chart over my face right now that tells you that will show you the different personalities and their letters. As for myself, I am the INFJ personality, which is the advocate personality type. I will say though that one of my letters is very, very close. Basically, when you take the test, it gives you a percentage, and they say if you are within 5% of the 50-50 mark, then you could go either way, depending on the situation. The test just told you which one you leaned more heavily towards in the moment. In my case, I am an INFJ, but I could very easily be an ISFJ. That letter, I scored a 51% on that letter, which means I could literally go either way, depending on the person I'm dealing with or how my day has gone thus far. I am very close. But anyway, the way that this tag works is that you take the letters that you've been given. In my case, I'm going to go with the INFJ, and there are 5 questions, a question for each letter. And so we're going to answer those questions. I will link down below all of the places you can get these questions. There's a Google Doc with all the questions. I will also link down below some websites where I will link down below the website where I took my test, so that you can take it if you are interested. It's about a 50 question test and really only takes about 10 to 15 minutes, but it's really interesting to kind of see the breakdown once it's done. So let's go ahead and get into the questions. So the first letter of my trait is I, which stands for introverted. And the question that goes along with this is, you can be outgoing but need to recharge with some calming solitude. Where is your favorite place to read and unwind? Why is this little oasis where you choose to go? For me, my favorite place to just relax and read is in my bed in my room. This is the most relaxing place for me because it is quiet. I have 2 little kids, and so whenever I get a chance to relax and read, I have a tendency to go to my bed and shut the door because my husband's got the kids and they don't need me, and it is the only place in our house that is quiet and I can be alone to be by myself and read and spend my time. So that's kind of why that place is so important to me, is because it's a quiet place in a house that is small and not very quiet. My next letter for the Myers-Briggs test is the letter N, which stands for intuition. And so the question for intuition is, some books are meant to be understood and others are meant to be explored. What book or character stands for an idea that is deeply meaningful to you? I think for me, this book is going to have to be The Names They Gave Us by Emery Lord. This book is about a girl whose mom is diagnosed with cancer, and she is a very devout Christian girl, and when her mom is diagnosed with cancer for the second time, she kind of questions her faith and has a crisis of faith where she doesn't know if God is real, if she wants to believe in him. But the whole time throughout this book, she still kind of wrestles with that, and she goes to a camp for struggling teens where she meets a bunch of different diverse people and kind of learns, you know, the reality of her faith, and basically learns how to make her faith rather than her faith her parents' faith. And it's such a great book, and it absolutely stands for something that is very meaningful to me, because I am a Christian person. I fully am a Christian, and I try to practice it, to live that out as best I can. I am human, I fail sometimes, but it is a very important part of Christianity for me that people make their own choices. And so when it comes down to it, I am a Christian because I chose to be a Christian. Yes, my family raised me in a Christian, home and in church, but when it got to a certain point, I had to make the choice myself to follow my faith or to leave it. And that is so important to me, that everybody has the chance to make their own choices and is not forced into something just because they feel they have to, especially something as important as your religion. And so that is something that is so important to me. And then also this book also is just so important in the fact that you can be a Christian and still accept everyone and love everyone, because too often in books I feel like the Christian is the high and mighty goody two shoes who thinks everybody is wrong if they are not just like them, and I hate that. So I will now step down off the soapbox, and we will move on to the next question, because I feel like that was a lot. So my next letter for Myers-Briggs is the letter F, which stands for feeling. And the question that goes along with the feeling personality trait is, not everything needs to be realistic. Where is the fun in a world with limits? Which fantasy world do you find so atmospheric you slip inside and never want to leave? And honestly, I feel like this is kind of a cheap answer, because my answer is going to be the world of Harry Potter with the magic. I feel like this is my answer because of the magic, and it's so almost realistic. Obviously the things like magic like that don't exist in our world. However, it's just so realistic. It feels very real, and I love that. It puts off such a calming and enjoyable and homey feeling to be in that world. And I didn't grow up with Harry Potter. I didn't read Harry Potter as a child. I didn't read Harry Potter until I was 17 years old. So it was fairly recently that I read through Harry Potter for the first time. So I don't have the nostalgia factor that a lot of people do with Harry Potter. It was just a very welcoming and comforting world to be in. And so that would definitely be the one that I would say is the most atmospheric to me, I guess. The last letter for my personality is the letter J, which stands for judging. The question for the letter J is, all play and no work leads to a chaotic disorder and anarchy. How do you structure and balance your reading, booktube, and personal life to better use your time? So I am not always the best at balancing my time. I definitely like to have a plan. I like to be organized. If I could, I would schedule everything in my life and those around me's lives down to the minute so that everything goes according to plan. It's just the way I am. That's why I got this letter for my that's why I got this letter for my personality. That being said, I struggle with balancing booktube in particular. Even though I've been doing this for 1.5 years, it is still a new thing for me, and something that I do have to readjust my time spent in it. And that is mainly because we have a new baby. She's 10 months old now, but every time you add a new member to your family, you do have to work around their schedule. Like, I am filming this video right now with my toddler awake. And I'm filming it with him awake because he doesn't take naps anymore. But I have to film videos during the day because I need the natural light from outside. So my 10-month-old is taking a nap right now, and my son is playing in the same room I'm filming this in, and I'm just gonna have to edit around the background noise. When it comes down to it, I am constantly reading a book. I'm either sitting on the couch here reading while my kids play, or I've got my audiobook going while I do chores around the house, or while I'm driving. I'm constantly reading. And so for me, the balance of personal life and reading are not two separate things. For me, my life with my family and my kids involves reading. Just on a day-to-day basis. I've always am doing some kind of reading. So I'm still working on the balance of BookTube, because you know, life's an adjustment and sometimes you have to go on the fly, and that is why my videos aren't always as consistent as I would like them to be, but I'm working on it. And my current schedule is that I film vlogs throughout the week so that I have a video to post on Monday, and usually on Monday I film whatever video I'm posting on Friday. That way I have time. Sometimes, like this week, I don't have a weekly vlog because of the video that I was supposed to go up last Friday, so I didn't have a video Monday, and because the files got corrupted, I didn't have a video for Friday, so I'm working on filming that, and so you're getting a tag today. That way there is still some kind of content here. And also, I just love this tag. I thought it was, I guess I don't balance very well yet, but I'm working on it. I try to keep a schedule, I try to keep everything on track, but it doesn't always work because life, it doesn't always work that way. So the last question is to answer a question that is based on your personality as a whole. Like I said, that my personality is the advocate, which is also known as the counselor. And so the question that goes along with the counselor personality trait is, yes, we are a bit odd, but we're also filled with intuition and empathy. What is a book you would recommend to a friend having a hard time? So the first scenario that came to mind when I was thinking about this question was moms who are struggling. Because I am a mom to 2 young kids, my son, who you can probably hear playing in the background, is 3 years old, and we opted not to put him in preschool this year, and that was just because we didn't feel like he needed it. He's a really smart kid. He knows his ABCs, he can count to 30, he knows all his animal sounds, he's a smart kid. All the stuff they were going to teach him in preschool he didn't need, and so the only thing that he really would have gone to preschool for is class structure and social interaction, which he gets on Sundays when we take him to church, and he goes to Sunday school. He gets the interaction with other kids, and when we go out to the park and stuff. And so I didn't feel like he needed the class structure aspect this year. He just needed it next year. But several of my friends who have kids the same age put their kids in preschool, and I had such extreme mom guilt about the fact that I didn't put my kid in preschool, and all of the other kids his age are in preschool, and how could I not do that? And why did I think this was a good idea not to put my son in preschool that he didn't need, and spend the money to put him in preschool that he didn't need? And so mom guilt is a real thing. It's a big deal. And so I think because of that, the first thing that came to mind with a friend going through a hard time was another mommy friend who is dealing with the stress of being a mom, or mom guilt. And the book that came to mind is The Magic of Motherhood. This book is basically a collection of essays. They're all short stories or real life accounts from moms. And I love this book. I love this book so much that I have a tendency to buy it as baby shower gifts for new moms, because the very first story in the book is a story about a mom feeling stressed out about all of the decisions that she has to make for her child before her kid's even born. And it's such a relatable book, and I swear almost every page I was crying. It just touched my emotions in a way that was very meaningful. And so I feel like if you're a mom and who want something that will kind of maybe lift your spirits and remind you that if you're taking care of your kids, you're doing everything you need to be doing, that this is a book you should read. So that was the Briggs book tag. I hope you guys found this interesting. Like I said, I will link down below the Google Doc where you can find the questions, as well as the website where I took my Myers-Briggs test. So if you are interested in taking the test itself and kind of finding out what your personality is, you can take that down below. It was really interesting to find out. I made my husband do it as well, and I did, and he found it really and it was interesting to see his. That's it for this tag. I am not going to tag people, I don't think, but if anybody would be interested in doing it, please do let me know if you do it, because I would love to see your answers to these questions. So that is all that I have for this video today, guys. If you like this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my content, I post videos on Monday and Friday. If you want to see more of my face, you can click subscribe down below and I'll pop up in your subscription box. But if you're wanting to get notifications, hitting subscribe is not good enough anymore. So if you want to get notifications for when I post, you will have to also press the little bell icon that's down there as well. That is it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.